Dear students, today we are going to discuss about plant movements and plant hormones. So, the plant movements are mainly of two types. One is nastic movement and second type, that is tropic movement. So, nastic movement means they are the movements which is shown by the plant and they are normally neither away nor towards the source of stimulus. But in case of tropic movements, these movements are always in the direction of stimulus. So in case of tropic movement, always the movement that always depend upon the direction of stimulus. It always shows the movement towards the direction of stimulus. But in case of nastic movement, these movements are neither away nor towards the source of stimulus. One example, in case of example, drooping of leaves. Drooping of leaves. So, drooping of leaves or this drooping action of leaves, that is not towards the direction of stimulus. Okay, so this is one of the example, that means drooping of leaves, that is not towards the direction of stimulus. But in case of tropic movement, always these movements that is in the direction of stimulus. So now let's discuss about tropic movements or tropism. Different types of tropic movements or tropism. So first one, that is phototropism, then geotropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism and thigmotropism. So these are the important tropisms or tropic movements shown by plants. So first about phototropism. So the word meaning photo means the word meaning that is light. Photo means light. So such type of movements or tropic movement or the plant part shows movement towards the direction of stimulus or here the stimulus is light. So the movement of plant part towards the direction of light. So here light is the stimulus. So we can classify it into positive as well as negative phototropism. So positive phototropism and negative phototropism. So in case of positive phototropism, example like leaves, okay, mainly leaves as well as shoot of the plant, that normally move towards the source of light. Okay, they move towards the source of light. So we can say that these leaves as well as shoot, they normally shows positive phototropic movement. Because here the leaves of the plant or the shoot system that normally move towards the source of light or towards the source of sunlight. So that is why it is known as positive phototropism. That means normally the movement of plant parts like leaves as well as shoot that move towards the source of light. So it is known as positive phototropism. Then on the other hand, negative phototropism, that means they move away from the source of stimulus. Okay, the part of plant body which move away from the source of light energy. Example, root. In case of negative phototropism, roots of the plant. Here, normally the roots of the plant, they normally move away from the source of light. Clear? So that is why roots move deep into soil. On the other hand, the upper part of the plant like the shoot system, including leaves, it will move towards the source of light and it shows positive phototropism. Clear? Then the second type of movement, that is geotropism. So here the stimulus is gravity. So geotropism means here the stimulus is gravity. So the movement of plant part towards the source of gravity. Okay, so here gravity is the stimulus. So this also two types, positive geotropism as well as negative. So positive geotropism as well as negative geotropism. So in case of positive geotropism normally roots show positive geotropism. That means roots normally move towards the stimulus like gravity. On the other hand, shoot system or the leaves and shoot, just opposite phototropism, leaves as well as shoot, they are negatively geotropic in nature. They do not move towards the source of gravity. They normally move away from the source of gravity. That is why the leaves or the shoot system that move upward, okay, away from the source of gravity. On the other hand, the root which are positively geotropic, they normally move deep into the soil or deep into down, or that means they always move towards the source of gravity. So roots are known as positively geotropic. Then another type of tropism, that is chemotropism. Chemo means here the stimulus is chemical stimulus, okay, certain chemicals. So towards the source of certain chemicals, if the movement takes place, then it is known as chemotropism. Likewise, phototropic as well as geotropic movement. This chemotropism that also shows positive as well as negative tropism. Clear? So, one example of positive chemotropism, the growth of pollen tube. Okay, the growth of pollen tube. The growth of pollen tube towards the ovary. The growth of pollen tube towards the ovary through the style, that is normally due to certain chemical stimulus. Okay, so due to the influence of certain chemical materials present in the stigma region, the pollen grain which falls over the stigma, they will start the formation of this pollen tube, and that pollen tube that will move downwards through style and it reaches to the ovary. Ovary contains ovules. So during the process of fertilization, the pollen tube, the germination of pollen tube or this growth of this pollen tube, that is through style, it is normally as the result of secretion of certain chemicals which are present in that stigma region. Clear? So we can see that the growth of pollen tube towards the ovary, it shows positive tropism, or we can say that it is an example of positive chemotropism. Clear? Then other part of plant, that is normally shows negative chemotropism. Clear? So during the process of fertilization, the pollen grain which falls over the stigma, from the stigma they absorb some of the nutrients as well as the chemical which are secreted from that part. This growth of pollen tube that will move towards the ovary. So this growth of pollen tube towards the ovary, that is due to the presence of certain chemical substances which are present in the style. So we can say that the growth of pollen tube, that is an example of positive chemotropism. Clear? Then the next type of tropism, that is hydrotropism. Hydro means water. So here the stimulus is water. So the movement of plant part in response to water stimulus. The movement of plant part in response to water stimulus. So there is also two types, positive hydrotropism as well as negative hydrotropism. So one example, normally roots, the growth of roots. So roots normally grow towards the source of water. Okay, they normally grow towards the source of water. So we can see that roots are positively hydrotropic in nature, because roots normally move towards the source of water. On the other hand, shoot system or the stem stem or the shoot system, they are normally negatively hydrotrophic in nature. So, roots which move towards the source of water, they shows positive hydrotrophic movement. Then another type, that is thigmotropism. Thigmo means that is here the stimulus is touch. So, the movement of plant part in response to stimulus touch, that is known as thigmotropic movement. So, normally some parts of the plant, especially leaves or sometimes tendrils, the growth of the tendrils, mainly in case of climbers. So, in case of climbers, tendrils are present. So, tendrils are present, and the movement of these tendrils or this growth of these tendrils, that is due to stimulus touch. So, these tendrils which present in the climbers, they normally shows positive thigmotropism. Clear? So, these are some of the examples of different types of tropic movements. So, first one, phototropism. Here the stimulus is light. So, positive phototropism as well as negative phototropism. Then geotropism, that means here the stimulus is gravity. Normally roots move towards gravity. As well as the shoot system, they move away the source of gravity. So, they are negatively geotropic in nature. Then chemotropism, growth of polar tube. So, that is example of positive chemotropism. Then hydrotropism. So, roots are positively hydrotropic in nature. That means roots always move towards the source of water. On the other hand, the stem or the shoot system, they move away from the source of water. So, they are negatively hydrotropic in nature. Then thigmotropic movement, that means the movement or the response or movement that is due to the stimulus touch. So, especially in case of climbers or which causes tendrils, the movement or the growth of tendrils around the support, that is due to stimulus touch. So, this is showing an example of positive thigmotropic movement. Growth regulators or plant hormones or phytohormones. Another name, that is phytohormones. Phytohormones means plant hormones. So, phytohormones or growth regulators, they are certain chemical substances which are secreted from plant's body to control and coordinate all the process that takes place inside plant body. Like growth of the plant body, then cell division, ripening of fruits, falling of leaves, then germination process, then seed dormancy. So, all these processes that are controlled by certain chemical substances that are secreted from plant body. So, they are known as phytohormones or growth regulators, which regulates the growth as well as the development of plant. So, these growth regulators are mainly categorized into two. One is growth promoters and second type, that is growth inhibitors. So, growth promoters means they promote the growth. They promote or they increases the rate of growth. On the other hand, growth inhibitors means they inhibits the growth of plant body or they slows down the process of growth. So, they are known as growth inhibitors, which inhibits the activity of growth and development. Then on the other hand, growth promoters, they promote the growth. They promote the process of cell division, cell enlargement. Then growth inhibitors means they inhibit the cell division process or they inhibits or they slows down or they reduces the process in case of plant's body. So, two types are there, growth promoters and growth inhibitors. So, main growth promoters are known as auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins. So, auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins, they are mainly known as growth promoters. On the other hand, abscisic acid and ethylene. Abscisic acid and ethylene, they together known as growth inhibitors, means which slows down the process of growth in plant. So, the main functions of these growth promoters, so these three are comes under growth promoters. Growth promoters. So the main functions of these growth promoters. First we will discuss about auxins. Auxin, it is an example of growth promoter, growth regulator hormone which promotes the growth of plant. So the main function, they promote cell division and cell elongation. So they promote the process of cell division, increasing the number of cells, as well as cell elongation of the cell. Then seed germination, promotes the process of seed germination of seed or formation of new plantlets, germination process. So auxins, they promote cell division and cell elongation, as well as they promote the germination of seed. Then not only that, they promote parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means the meaning that is development of seedless fruit. So the formation of fruit without seed or the development of seedless fruit, that process is known as parthenocarpy. So auxins, they induce or they promote or they induce parthenocarpy, that means development of seedless fruit, that is induced by the action of auxin. Then another function, they prevent premature falling of leaves. Okay, falling of leaves, premature falling of leaves. That means before the maturation process or before the normal aging process, before itself, at premature condition itself, sometimes the falling of leaves will take place in plants. So due to premature falling of leaves, what will happen to plant body? Normally, the process of photosynthesis or absorption of chlorophyll, that is totally affected. So it prevents such type of premature falling of leaves. So if we prevent the premature falling of leaves, means more growth will be there in plant's body. So the main function of auxins is to promote cell division, increase the number of cells, cell elongation, increase in the size as well as length of the cell or plant body. Then seed germination, process of germination. Then parthenocarpy, formation of seedless fruit, as well as premature falling of leaves. It prevents premature falling of leaves. These are the important functions of auxins. Then second type, that are known as gibberellins. Second one, that is gibberellins. Same like that, it also helps in the elongation of stem as well as expansion of leaves. So increase in the size as well as increase in the length of the stem as well as the expansion, increase in the size of the leaves, surface area of leaves, increased surface area of leaves. So if there is increased surface area of leaves, means more chlorophyll content is present in the leaves and we can absorb more light energy for photosynthesis process. Then the process of transpiration, that also more through this expansion part of leaves. Then breaks seed dormancy. So dormancy means it is the condition, that means the seed, they cannot germinate. Okay, so the seed, they cannot germinate if all the conditions are favorable. Then also sometimes the seed will undergo dormant condition. That means seed will not germinate, they cannot germinate. So the gibberellins, by the action of gibberellins, it breaks the dormancy or dormant condition of seed and promote germination process. And it induces, same here, this also induces the process of parthenocarpy and it promotes growth of leaves as well as flower and fruit. So promoting the growth of leaves, flower and fruit means this increases or it promotes the growth of overall growth of plant body. So these are the main function of gibberellins: expansion of leaves, elongation of stem, then breaks the seed dormancy, parthenocarpy induces parthenocarpy as well as growth of fruit, leaves and stem. The third type of growth promoter, that is cytokinins. Cytokinins means they also promote cell division. Then growth of lateral bud, sideways growth of the bud, as well as it activates protein synthesis. Okay, protein synthesis, it activates the synthesis of protein synthesis, and it removes apical dominance. It removes apical dominance. Apical dominance means due to the presence of this apical bud, or it reduces the growth of lateral bud. Sometimes only this apical bud will grow and the side ways or the lateral buds or the side buds, they cannot grow properly due to the presence of this apical bud. So cytokines, they remove the apical dominance. So what will happen to plant body? Sideways, the bud will develop in the sideways also, so that the sideways growth of plant body that also takes place. Then break seed dormancy. It also helps to breakage of dormant condition. Then it retards aging in plant organs. Aging process. It retards the aging in plant organs. So retarding means it reduces the aging process in plant body. Otherwise, if aging process, if it promotes the aging process, then what will happen? Normally, earlier death of plant body takes place. So it prevents premature aging, or it retards or it reduces the aging in plant organs. So these three are growth promoters. Then these two are growth inhibitors. These two are known as growth inhibitors. So first one, that is abscisic acid, and second one, that is ethylene. So abscisic acid is known as stress hormone. Abscisic acid is known as stress hormone. Then the main function, it inhibits seed germination. Inhibition of seed germination. That means it reduces the rate of germination, or it reduces germination of seed. That means it inhibits the process of growth. Not only that, it also inhibits cell division, because they comes under inhibitors. So they inhibit cell division process, and it promote leaf fall, not retards, it promote, or it increases the rate of leaf fall, falling of leaves. So what will happen? Due to falling of leaves, aging will take place in the plant body, and it also leads to earlier death of plant. Then aging of leaves, then dormancy of seed. It promotes dormancy of seed. So seed will remain in dormant condition. That means it do not promote the process of germination. So dormancy of seed. So it promotes leaf fall, as well as it promotes aging of leaves, as well as it promotes the dormancy of seed. Then it decreases the synthesis of protein and chlorophyll. It decreases the synthesis of protein as well as chlorophyll. Then next hormone, that is ethylene. Ethylene is known as gaseous hormone, or it presents in gaseous. Okay, it present in gaseous form. So the main function, it promotes aging of leaves. Okay, aging of leaves. That aging of leaves is actually known as senescence. Senescence means aging process. So ethylene, it promotes aging of leaves or senescence, as well as growth and ripening of fruits. Okay, growth as well as the earlier ripening of fruits. Then leaf fold as well as senescence. So it promotes aging of leaves, as well as it promotes ripening of fruits, as well as it promotes leaf fold, as well as the senescence. Senescence means aging process. So like this way, it inhibits the growth of plant. That is why these both together known as growth inhibitors and growth promoters. So these two types, growth inhibitors as well as growth promoters, they work together in plant body to control and coordinate all the activities that takes place inside plant body.